And still on that story, let's now have a discussion here with George Msamali, who is a security expert on some of the things that we expect to see during that particular operation in parts of Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot and Baringo counties. Thank you very much, George, for coming in. Elvis says some residents are happy, some are quite apprehensive. What exactly does this operation mean for them?
I think we have bitter memories of these kind of operations in this country. And that is why you'll find that we have some people who are not happy about the deployment of the KDF in that area. And more specifically, let's look at what happened in Mount Elgon. We still have people complaining about excessive use of force by the military. 1984, we had Operation Nyundo. It's captured in the TGRC report. The same with the Wagala massacre. And I think that apprehension from the people is that we have operations that have gone bad, where instead of targeting the actual people who are committing atrocities in those areas, members of the community are always targeted, and at the end of it all, we'll find that we have a massive displacement of people from these areas. And that's why you see that some of them are not happy about the deployment of the KDF. And as you've heard, we have a group of people that are saying that this operation is going to target a particular community. Particular community. And I think this is where now we're getting it wrong.
So how far is too far for the KDF in that particular operation?
I think when we're dealing with tribal conflict, it's always complex. It's not an easy matter. And in most cases where we've had military intervention, we've not gotten a solution. Let's take an example of America. The worst two military setbacks for the Americans, this is a well-established military group, where when they tried to deal with tribal conflict, it happened in Beirut, 1983. We lost 241 Americans. It happened in Somali, 1993. 18 Americans were killed. So when we are coming to face this kind of scenario, then we need to have proper logistics, proper planning. We should have a task. We should have operational orders that will outline the task that we're going to deal with. Remember, this is an asymmetric warfare. We are not dealing with a group of people that we know this is a conventional army. We are dealing with small pockets of bandits that are operating in a very wide area.
So what are we saying? That it is tribal, it's going to be a bit complicated?
This is tribal, and it's going to be it's not going to be a little bit complicated, it's going to be complicated. Because remember, this area has been volatile, not now, starting in 1968. This is why up to 1984 we had Operation Nyundo. It was not a solution. We're still dealing with the same problem even after the intervention of the military. So I believe this problem has a political solution. People need to sit down and talk as opposed to using military might in that.
We have areas in Baringo County and Elgeyo Marakwet as well as West Pokot that have been declared as unsafe and highly uninhabitable. This particular operation, does this mean that these particular areas will witness a lot of force from the KDF?
Definitely, that is the experience we've had. Remember Mount Elgon, we declared a curfew there. A lot of military, force was used by the military. And as we speak right now, we cannot say that Mount Elgon is completely secure. We still have the small problems because historical injustices were not addressed. And I believe this is the key thing that we need to look into. Why are we having these people trying to dominate others in that area, that particular area? Capedo has been a problem for quite a very long time. And I think military intervention is only coming in to pacify the area for a short while. This is a short-term solution, but we need a long-term solution. And the long-term solution is addressing historical injustices in those areas. People feel marginalized, and that is why they feel unprotected. And remember, when we start having purification of small arms within an area, we need to look at what the government is providing. Are people sure that the government is able to secure them from these attacks? No, and this is why now you'll find that communities are arming themselves. So the solution here does not lie in the deployment of the military. We are going to see so many things coming out, and probably, as I've said earlier, a lot of displacement of people, and this is not good for us.
All right. George, thank you so much for coming. And George Msamali is a security expert, and as he says, the deployment of a KDF in the insecure areas in Baringo, West Pokot and Elgeyo Marakwet